The first preparatory hearing for President Yoon's impeachment trial is scheduled for this afternoon. We just heard news from his team that he will send a legal representative to this session, where judges will outline the main arguments for impeachment over his martial law order. Our correspondent Oh Sooyoung is standing by at the Constitutional Court. Sooyoung, walk us through what the preparatory hearing means and how it works.
Hi, Dami. Yes, President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment proceedings will kick off publicly in about 4 hours, with the first preparatory hearing to be held in the small courtroom at 2 p.m. Now, the purpose of the preparatory hearing is to organize the main arguments and evidence for the trial to proceed smoothly and effectively. And today, representatives from both sides, namely the National Assembly, which voted to impeach President Yoon, as well as Yoon's legal team, will present their arguments and the list of witnesses and evidence they wish to draw upon during the trial. The session will be presided over by Justices Chung Young-sik and Lee Mi-sun, who will set out the major grounds for impeachment and decide which witnesses to summon. Now, for former President Park Geun-hye, the 9 impeachment grounds initially presented by Parliament were narrowed down to 5, including involvement in corruption and abuse of authority.
Right, then I have to ask you, what will be the grounds for President Yoon's impeachment then?
For President Yoon, the impeachment grounds are likely to be disruption of the constitutional order as well as insurrection. The impeachment motion passed by the National Assembly against President Yoon over his martial law imposition, it accused him of violating 17 constitutional provisions and 8 legal statutes under the criminal law. A key point of contention will likely be whether to include the insurrection charges. Yoon, in a speech 2 weeks ago, argued quite fiercely that his declaration of martial law was a political act which is not subject to judicial review, and he argued that it is his executive right. Meanwhile, judges are reportedly reviewing whether Yoon violated Article 82 of the Constitution, which stipulates that the president's state action should be executed in writing and bear the signature of the Prime Minister and relevant cabinet members. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo and other ministers have said they did not sign the martial law order. Now, as of Thursday, Yoon did not submit, as requested by the court, the proclamation of martial law, nor the minutes of the cabinet meeting he held before he announced the decree.
And Sooyoung, there was a sudden announcement early this morning that President Yoon is sending a legal representative to the court later today. How do you expect the hearing to go?
Right, Dami. So after days of suspense and even speculation that President Yoon might skip the session entirely, it was only this morning that his team appeared to decide who will represent him today and who will lead his battle against the impeachment case. Now, according to the announcement, lawyers including Park Bae-yoon, who served almost 3 decades in the Constitutional Court, have filed their power of attorney with the court and will attend the first preparatory hearing. Former prosecutor Yoon Gak-geun and former judge and former classmate of President Yoon's Bae Jin-an, they've also joined the team. While the National Assembly's impeachment committee handed a list of witnesses and evidence, as well as a power of attorney to the court on Christmas Eve, Yoon hadn't submitted any documents as of Thursday. He's been rejecting court papers delivered to his residence and office, as well as separate requests by investigators to present himself for questioning. Yoon is not obliged to attend the Constitutional Court's preparatory hearing himself, but it remains to be seen whether he will show up in person to the actual trials to personally make his case, given his prosecutor background. Now, today's hearing is expected to wrap up within an hour. For instance, President Park Geun-hye's preparatory hearing lasted around 45 minutes.
Well, Sooyoung, we'll have to keep us updated throughout the day, of course. Thank you for the report this morning.